Behçet's disease, or Behçet's syndrome, is a small vessel vasculitis that can cause inflammation throughout the body, most classically presenting as a triad involving the eyes, mouth, and genitals. There are a lot of details to keep in mind for Behçet's, so here's a visual aid so you can crush it on test day. Ugh, my head is killing me. Wait, where am I? Last thing I remember was going to the bar with some buddies and then nothing. Remind me never to drink again. I'm in a hotel room with sumptuous bed sheets. Let these bed sheets remind you of Behçet's. Bed sheets, Behçet's, easy. These bed sheets are so soft. I wonder where they're from. Oh, it looks like these bed sheets are made of 100% Turkish cotton. Aren't the best fabrics always made of Turkish or Egyptian cotton? Regardless, these bed sheets are super soft, since I always make sure that my bed sheets are of the highest Eastern Mediterranean quality. Let these Turkish Behçet's, bed sheets, remind you of the fact that Behçet's disease is commonly seen in people of Turkish or Eastern Mediterranean descent. Well, I can't stay in bed all day. I guess I'll just get up and... Ew, nasty. What is this puddle doing here? I guess room service hasn't gotten around to cleaning it up yet. The suspicious small puddle of liquid should help you remember that Behçet's is a small vessel vasculitis. Small vessels or bodies of liquid are our recurring symbol for small vessels. And this puddle left from last night is definitely a small amount of liquid. Speaking of this puddle, take a look at... Oh, wait. Don't look there. Yeah, that's my underwear. I wonder why there are holes ripped in this one, though. Ugh, I can't remember anything from last night. Anyways, this holey underwear should remind you of genital ulcers, because the holes look a little bit like punched-out ulcers, don't they? Think of my tattered, ripped pair of underwear to recall that genital ulcers are a common finding in Behçet's disease. Alright, so I found my underwear, but where are my pants? Oh, there they are. How'd they end up hung up over that tree? I hope they do dry cleaning at this hotel. Anyways, notice specifically how the tree makes my red pants look lumpy. And you know what lumpy red legs make me think of? That's right, erythema nodosum. This pair of lumpy red pants is here to help you remember the erythema nodosum seen in Behçet's syndrome. Erythema nodosum is an inflammatory process characterized by large, painful red bumps underneath the skin. These are usually found on the shins or legs and result from inflammation of fat under the skin. Because small vessels also supply the fat layer, right? Just remember my lumpy red pants to remember the lumpy red nodules seen in Behçet's syndrome. Now that we're already here, we might as well talk about that tree. Notice how this tree looks kind of Y-shaped, like an antibody. The antibody shape of this tree is here to remind you of autoimmune hypersensitivity. And the tree helps me remember the number 3. Get it? Tree for 3. Putting this together, this antibody-shaped tree should help us remember that Behçet's disease is a type 3 hypersensitivity reaction. This means that inflammation in Behçet's disease results from circulating immune complexes. These complexes can accumulate in small vessels throughout the body where they trigger an inflammatory response. Type 3 hypersensitivity is caused by immune complexes specifically. So let this tree remind you of the number 3. This is relatively high yield, as it can be a good way for exam writers to test you on immunology. I still don't remember what happened last night. Do you remember, man? Whoa, you don't look so great. Your eyes are super red. You might be in worse shape than I am. My friend's bloodshot eyes should remind you of uveitis, or inflammation of the eye, one of the key findings seen in Behçet's disease. I'm not sure I'll be getting much information out of this guy. He looks like he's in pretty rough shape. Hey man, wipe your mouth. You're getting yogurt all over your lips. Yeah, take a closer look at my friend's yogurt-covered lips. His poor table manners might be disgusting, but the yogurt on his lips gives us a great symbol for canker sores. Yep, canker sores. If you had to take only one fact away from this video, I want you to remember this. Patients with Behçet's will have recurrent aphthous ulcers, or canker sores, in the oral mucosa. God, I hate canker sores. Just think back to my friend here and his slovenly eating habits to remember the canker sores seen in Behçet's syndrome. Before we move on, I want to highlight the trio of canker sores, uveitis, and genital ulcers, which comprise an extremely important triad that the boards love to go after for Behçet's syndrome. The flares seen in Behçet's usually last about 1 to 4 weeks, so this timeline, plus the triad, should be a dead giveaway for Behçet's, so learn it well. Think back to the ripped underwear on the floor, my friend's red eyes, and yogurt on the lips to remember this triad. So, where did you get that parfait from anyways? Room service? Yeah, take a look at my friend's yogurt parfait. Parfaits are the perfect hangover food. Trust me. You should try it out next time you have a hangover. By the way, this parfait is our symbol for parvovirus. Get it? It's the parvovirus parfait. You'll likely associate parvovirus with Fifth's disease or aplastic anemia, but it's an important virus to also associate with Behçet's. Parvovirus is thought to be one of 2 viruses that can precipitate a flare in Behçet's disease. My friend may have bad eating habits, but he has great taste. Remember this parfait to remember parvovirus. I still feel pretty terrible from last night, but this hotel is pretty sweet. They have a really classical elegance here, complete with a life-sized golden statue of Hermes in the bathroom. Take a look at my boy Hermes over there, in all his Greek glory. I know I must be in a fancy hotel when there are Greek god statues and Turkish cotton bedsheets. This elegant Hermes statue is Pixorize's symbol for herpes simplex virus, or HSV. Like parvovirus, herpes virus may precipitate the flares seen in Behçet's disease. This can be tricky on the test day, since HSV alone can cause genital or oral ulcers. So, it's the constellation of symptoms seen in Behçet's that becomes very important to get the diagnosis right. Got that? Finally, I think I've got it all figured out. So that's what happened last night. Give me that photo there. Yep, it's a photo of us with an alien at what looks like Area 51. Maybe that's the name of the new alien-themed nightclub. Regardless, this picture of Area 51 is a great symbol to help you remember that Behçet's disease is associated with HLA-B51. Area 51 for HLA-B51. Got it? I definitely don't remember partying with any aliens, but I'm glad my camera caught the picture. Kids, stay away from Area 51, and remember, Behçet's syndrome is associated with HLA-B51. Even after all these clues, I'm still not much closer to piecing together what happened to us last night. We must have partied a little too hard. However, I did learn a ton about Behçet's disease, so let's sum it up. Behçet's disease, also known as Behçet's syndrome, is a small vessel vasculitis characterized by a triad of recurrent genital ulcerations, uveitis, and aphthous oral ulcers, predominantly seen in individuals of Turkish or Eastern Mediterranean descent. These flares can generally last 1 to 4 weeks and may be accompanied by erythema nodosum, or painful nodular eruptions on the shins and legs. Behçet's may be precipitated by parvovirus or herpes simplex virus, and is a type 3 hypersensitivity reaction largely associated with HLA-B51. Next time you check into a swanky hotel room and order a parfait, think back to this image and you'll be as golden as Hermes here for any question about Behçet's disease on test day. Until next time,